Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Ayushi Paliwal from University of Delhi. So today we are going to talk on the module Quantum Dots under the paper Nanoscience and Nanotechnology first. So students, after completing this module, you will be able to learn the following. First, the applications of quantum dots in solar cell will be discussed. Secondly, the special type of solar cell, that is dye-sensitized solar cell, DSSE, multi-junction, hot carrier capture, and multiple excitons. They will be discussed in this module. Third, applications of quantum dots in display devices will be discussed. Lastly, we will discuss about the application of quantum devices in nanoelectronics, quantum computers, energy production, and medical diagnostics. So students, let us start with a basic introduction about the module. A quantum dot is an extremely small particle whose properties can be drastically changed merely by removing or adding an electron. So, in this process, an isolated atom can also be termed as a quantum dot. However, only a cluster of atoms or molecules demonstrates property variations. In biochemistry, quantum dots are often termed as the redox groups. Quantum dots are referred as quantum bits or qubits in nanotechnology. The dimension of quantum dot are of the few nanometers. So, nanotechnology is a multidisciplinary field wherein the problem often includes studying biology, chemistry, computer science, electronics, etc. For example, consider a hypothetical biochip which is grown analogous to a tree from a seed and which might also include a computer inside it. In this analogy, both terms, a cubic, qubit or a redox group, both are equally applicable. So besides the classification of this chip as animate or inanimate, it is difficult to accomplish. Each quantum dot present in this chip may account for one or more data bits. In some cases, an electron within the quantum dot may occupy several states. Thus, a quantum dot may also represent a byte of data instead of a bit. Alternately, one QD might be simultaneously involve more than one computations. In addition to these applications, other sophisticated uses of a quantum dot may include nanomechanics, neural networks, high-density data storage, etc.
So the first thing arises, what are quantum dots? A quantum dot gets its name because it's a tiny speck of matter so small that it's effectively concentrated into a single point. In other words, it is zero-dimensional. As a result, the particles inside it that carry electricity, that is electrons and holes, which are places that are missing electrons, are trapped or constrained and have well-defined energy levels according to the laws of quantum theory. that is, things rungs on a ladder, a bit like individual atoms. Tiny really does means tiny. Quantum dots are crystals a few nanometers wide, so they are typically a few dozen atoms across and contain anything from perhaps 100 to a few thousand atoms. They are made from a semiconductor such as silicon, and a silicon a material that's neither really a conductor nor an insulator, but can be chemically treated so it behaves like either. And although they are crystals, they behave more like individual atoms, hence the nickname artificial atoms. So students, you can see a figure which is shown below, that is the image by Evident Technologies, and it is an example of the quantum dot. So owing to its small size, whole matter or all the atoms effectively seems to be concentrated to a tiny spot or dot. Consequently, the charged particles are trapped, which we have discussed, and the size is few nanometers, which we have discussed. Additionally, despite being small crystals, they behave much like individual atoms.
What about quantum dots? Quantum dots, QDs, are semiconductor particles whose dimensions are less than the exciton Bohr radius, resulting in quantum confinement effect being dominant in deciding their properties. So, due to the confinement effects, the electron energy levels becomes finite. The situation is similar to an atom, and that is why QDs are often termed as artificial atoms. So, by adjusting the size and the shape of QDs, these energy levels can be tuned, which then defines the band gap. So, QDs can be made with different sizes, thereby changing their band gap without any modification in the underlying material or the synthesis processes. Ideally, the size of the dot can be changed by simply controlling the synthesis time and temperature. Owing to the tunable band gap, QDs are interesting for solar cell applications. Single junction cells of PBS, the lead sulfide. Colloidal QDs demonstrates band gaps in the range of far infrared, which is difficult to obtain in traditional cells. Since the maximum portion of the solar energy reaching the Earth is in infrared and near infrared regions, so a QD, owing to its band gap in the right spectrum, can make use of this enormous energy. Furthermore, colloidal QDs can be easily synthesized. Being suspended in a colloidal liquid, they are easily handled throughout production process. Colloidal QDs can be produced in large amounts and the dots can be spread on desired substrate via spin coating.
Now comes, how do quantum dots work? Since quantum dots demonstrate size-dependent properties, their behavior can be easily controlled and tuned by controlling their size. Analogous to the atoms, quantum dots can be engineered to function as per the requirements. So, quantum dots can be precisely controlled to do all kind of useful things. So, school level physics usually tells us that if you give an atom energy, you can excite it. You can boost an electron inside it to a high energy level. When the electron returns to a lower level, the atom emits a photon of light with the same energy that the atom originally absorbed. So the color in terms of wavelength and frequency of light of an atom emits depends on what the atom is. So for example, iron looks green when you excite its atom by holding them in a hot flame, while sodium looks yellow, and that's because of the way their energy levels are arranged. So the rule is that different atoms give out different colors of light, and all this is possible because the energy levels in the atoms have set values. So in other words, they are quantized. So students, a figure is shown in the slide which shows the quantized energy states. So how atom make light? So the first figure shows that after absorbing energy, an electron inside an atom is promoted to a higher energy level further from the nucleus, that is second step. When it returns, the energy is given out as a photon of energy, which is shown in the third figure. The color of the light depends on the energy levels and varies from one atom to another. The quantum dots produce light in a similar way because the electrons and holes constrained inside them give them similarly discrete quantized energy levels. However, the energy levels are governed by the size of dot rather than the substance from which it is made. So as we have discussed in the previous slide that the electron absorbs energy, it excites to the higher levels and releases energy. So a quantum dot also emits light by a similar mechanism because the charge carriers, that is electrons and holes entrapped within it, has discrete energy levels. However, the arrangement of energy levels within a quantum dot is also influenced by the dimensions of the dot. Thus, a quantum dot made from same material can be tuned to emit light of different wavelengths or colors. So it's depending upon the size of the dot. In this regard, a bigger quantum dot emit light of longer wavelengths or smaller frequencies, while smaller quantum dots produce light of shorter wavelengths or higher frequency. This large dots gives off red light and smaller dot produce blue light. And intermediate dots produce green light, which is shown in the figure. In this way, by adjusting the size of the quantum dot, all the colors of the spectrum can be produced. So the band gap of a smaller quantum dot is more than that of a bigger quantum dot. Band gap can be described as the minimum energy required by the atom to promote an electron from the valence band to the conduction band. So in this respect, a smaller quantum dot requires more energy to excite the electron. Since the frequency of the emitted light is directly proportional to the energy, small dots produce light having higher frequencies, or we can say shorter wavelengths. Similarly, larger dots more closely spaced energy levels, and thus they have lower frequencies or higher wavelengths. So students, you all can see from the figure that with increase in size, the wavelength increases and the frequency decreases. Moreover, with decrease in frequency, the energy also decreases. With the relation, we know that E is equal to h nu. So, with the decrease in frequency, the energy decreases. So, in this figure, bigger dots emit light of longer wavelength such that the color of the emitted light is close to red color. Similarly, smaller dots produce shorter wavelength and higher frequencies, and the color is towards blue. Now comes, how do you make a quantum dot? So here comes the preparation of quantum dots. Quantum dots are nothing but small sized crystals. Therefore, they can also be produced similar to other crystals. The most popular techniques to produce quantum dots are the molecular beam epitaxy (MBE), wherein a beam of atoms is bombarded onto a substrate and the single crystal gradually builds up. The another technique is ion implantation, where accelerated ion beams are incident onto the substrate. And the next one is X-ray lithography, where atomic scale engraving using X-rays to produce the desired structures. Recently, several researchers have proposed preparing the quantum dots by using biological processes such as by feeding metals to the enzymes. So students, you can see an image showing a sensor chip of a webcam which converts the real-time images into the digital format when light is incident on its grid. So the grid contains light detecting pixels. Quantum dots can be used to produce small-sized pixels as well as sensors which have higher resolutions. Quantum dots can also be used in computer screens and other displays owing to the following advantages. The first one is the conventional LCD, that is liquid crystal display. Screens use a combination of red, blue and green crystals to show the images. These color crystals are basically color filters which can switch on or off under electronic control. These crystals are illuminated from behind a very bright backlight. Thus, the color of the picture are produced by combining tiny crystals of red, blue or green colors. As mentioned earlier, an individual quantum dot can be tuned to produce different colors by adjusting its size. Therefore, the colors produced by a quantum dot is likely to be more realistic. The second point is, since quantum dots produce light by themselves, they do not need any backlight to show images. Thus, they are more energy efficient. This is their added advantage which can benefit the portable devices which we frequently see around us, since they require less energy to perform. The next is, as the size of quantum dots is very small than that of a liquid crystal used in conventional LCD displays, the use of quantum dot is expected to produce much higher resolution image than possible by the LCDs. Quantum dots are much brighter than the recently used organic LEDs or OLEDs, that is organic LEDs. Thus, they can also be used to produce OLEDs display. Now let us discuss the applications of quantum dots in wide area in detail.
Display devices. Quantum dot display employs semiconducting nanocrystals or QDs as display element, where QDs either emit or convert, in case of LED, backlit LCDs light. Presently available display devices, for example TV, termed as QLED, uses QDs to convert light for LCD backlights, rather than using them for actual display. The use of QDs as light source was first proposed in 1990s, and typical applications were imaging with QD infrared photodetectors, LEDs, etc. Presently, QDs are intensely investigated for their use in light sources and displays. So, by controlling the composition and size of a quantum dot, its properties can be controlled. Furthermore, quantum dots are photoactive, photoluminescent, as well as electroactive, electroluminescent. Thus, they can be easily incorporated in new emissive display device. True QD display are at experimental stage and are different from the present commercial devices. QLEDs using QDs or semiconductor nanocrystals as electro-optical display technology, similar to organic LEDs or QLED display where light is emitted when required. These displays are efficient and the next technology after QLED. They are concerned over the use of cadmium or to produce the QLED. Thus, such devices are still experimental. So, big and flexible display can be prepared by using QDs. Besides, this display do not easily degrade like the QLED. Thus, quantum dot are potential candidates for the panel TV screens, digital cameras, mobile phones, etc.
Batteries and chargers. Researchers at Vanderbilt University have shown that by using quantum dots produced from iron pyrite, a modern smartphone can be fully charged within 30 seconds or dozen of charging cycles. While the technology is still relatively new, it shows great promise for another highly accessible technological use. The next is solar energy. The quantum dots can also be used to harness solar radiations. They can absorb the incoming sunlight and create excitons, that is, electron hole pairs. These excitons should be quickly separated to avoid their spontaneous recombination. This can be achieved by applying a suitable bias across the end terminals of the device. Electrons travel towards the anode through metal oxide nanorods while the holes move towards the cathode. This separation of the charge carriers causes current in the semiconductor. Consequently, quantum dots can also be used to produce transparent and semi-transparent films for applications in the solar panels. Here comes biological and chemical applications. Quantum dots also have applications in medical field such as in cancer treatment. Quantum dots can be configured to accumulate at specific sites within the body and then release the anti-cancer drugs around bound to them. In this manner, targeted drug delivery can become a reality. The most important advantage of using quantum dot is that they can be targeted to single organs, example, liver. In this way, they can deliver the drug more efficiently thereby reducing the undesired side effects, which are inherent problems with conventional untargeted chemotherapies. The quantum dots can also be used as a substitute for organic dyes in biological research. For instance, they can be used like nanoscopic light bulbs to light up and color specific cells that needs to be studied under a microscope. In contrast to the organic dyes, which can be used over a limited range of colors and degrade quickly, quantum dyes are brighter and can be designed to produce any color in the visible spectra of light. In addition to this, the theoretical lifespan of quantum dyes is infinite. That is, they are considered to be photostable. Their applications as sensors to detect chemical as well as biological warfare agents has gained recent attention.
So let us now discuss about the application of quantum dots in nanoelectronics. Nanoelectronics involves using technology in electronic components. The devices produced are so small that interatomic interactions and quantum confinement effects are applied to them. So the devices include hybrid molecular, semiconductor electronics, nanotubes, nanowires, for example SNWs, CNTs, etc. Recent silicon CMOS devices are also within this length scale. Nanoelectronics is often termed as the disruptive technology as the present candidates are significantly different from the traditional transistors. So the basic concepts are Gordon Monroe in 1965 proposed a continuous downscaling of silicon transistors. This was later known as Moore's law. Since then, the transistor feature size has been reduced from 10 micron to around 25 nanometer till 2011. Nanoelectronics is about continuously realizing this law via novel materials and techniques to fabricate electronic devices of nanoscaled dimensions. So an important math. So students, let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Firstly, we discussed the main application of quantum dots in solar cells. Secondly, a special solar cell, dye-sensitized solar cell was discussed. Multi-junction, hot carrier capture and multiple excitons were also discussed. Thirdly, applications of quantum dots in display devices were also discussed. Lastly, the applications of quantum devices mainly in nanoelectronics, quantum computers and energy production and in medical diagnostics were also discussed in this module. Thank you.